Have you ever felt like a doll was watching you? Like its glassy eyes were following your every move? For most of us, it's just a fleeting, creepy feeling. But for two young nurses in the 1970s, that feeling became a terrifying reality. This isn't a story from a horror movie. This is the real-life case of Annabelle, the doll that never sleeps. It all started with a simple gift. A mother, wanting to surprise her daughter Donna, a nursing student, bought a seemingly innocent Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby shop. Donna and her roommate Angie thought it was a cute, nostalgic addition to their small apartment. They named her Annabelle at first. Everything was normal. Annabelle sat on Donna's bed, just like any other doll. But then, strange things began to happen. Donna and Angie would come home to find Annabelle in a different position than they had left her. At first it was subtler, leg crossed and arm shifted. They brushed it off, thinking maybe they'd just bumped her when making the bed, but the movements became more and more dramatic. They'd leave the apartment with Annabelle on the bed and return to find her sitting on the sofa in the living room. Then, she started appearing in rooms they had left closed. The girls were certain they were the only ones with keys to their apartment. A growing sense of unease started to creep in. Who or what was moving the doll? The activity escalated. The girls began finding handwritten notes on parchment paper. The messages were childlike, things like "help us" or "help Lou." The strange part, neither Donna nor Angie owned parchment paper. The handwriting was like that of a small child, yet no child had ever been in their apartment. The feeling of being watched was now constant, and the sweet gift was quickly becoming a source of dread. They started to feel like they weren't alone, that some unseen presence was sharing their home. Their friend Lou was skeptical. He thought the girls were being overly dramatic and told them to just get rid of the creepy doll. But Lou would soon have his own terrifying encounters. One night, while sleeping over on their couch, he awoke from a nightmare feeling paralyzed. He looked down towards his feet and saw Annabelle, the doll, seemingly gliding up his leg. He felt a pressure on his chest, as if he were being suffocated. Before blacking out, he woke up shaken, convinced the doll was pure evil. But his worst experience was yet to come. A few days later, Lou and Angie were at the apartment, planning a road trip. They heard rustling sounds coming from Donna's room. Thinking it might be a burglar, Lou cautiously approached the door. He slowly opened it and flipped on the light. Everything seemed normal, except for Annabelle, who was sitting in a corner on the floor instead of on the bed where she usually was. He walked over to the doll, and suddenly, he felt a sharp pain on his chest. He looked down and saw several distinct claw marks, bleeding and raw, as if he'd been attacked by a wild animal. But he was alone in the room, well, alone with Annabelle. The scratches were hot like burns, but they mysteriously healed completely within 2 days, leaving no trace. This was the final straw. It was clear they were dealing with something far beyond their understanding. Desperate for answers, Donna and Angie contacted a psychic medium during a seance. The medium told them a story about a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. She explained that a 7-year-old girl with that name had tragically lost her life on the property where their apartment building now stood. Her spirit, the medium claimed, was lonely and had latched onto the doll. All she wanted was to feel loved and accepted by the girls. Feeling compassionate, Donna and Angie gave the spirit permission to inhabit the doll. They felt sorry for the little girl and thought they could help her. This, according to paranormal investigators, was a critical mistake. By giving the spirit permission, they had inadvertently opened a door to something much darker. The activity intensified, becoming more malevolent. Realizing they were in over their heads, the girls finally reached out to the church, who in turn put them in contact with two of the most famous paranormal investigators in history, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens arrived at the apartment and immediately came to a very different conclusion. After interviewing Donna, Angie, and Lou, they determined that the doll was not possessed by the spirit of a little girl. They explained that spirits of the deceased don't possess objects. Instead, inhuman, demonic entities do. This entity had manipulated the girls with the sad story of Annabelle Higgins to gain their sympathy and earn their permission to stay. Its ultimate goal was not to possess the doll, but to possess a human host. The scratching incident with Lou was a classic sign of a demonic entity trying to instill fear, a powerful emotion it could feed on. That Warrens believed the entity was in the final stages of the infestation process and that a human possession was imminent. They contacted a priest to perform an exorcism, not on the doll, but on the apartment itself, to cleanse the space of the negative energy. After the blessing, Ed and Lorraine decided the doll was too dangerous to be left behind. Fearing it would continue to cause harm, they took Annabelle with them. Even the journey home was fraught with danger. Ed placed the doll in the back seat. On the drive, they experienced repeated car trouble. The power steering and brakes failed on winding country roads, nearly causing several fatal accidents. Ed, believing the doll's influence was the cause, stopped the car, opened the back door, and sprinkled holy water on Annabelle. The paranormal disturbances immediately stopped, and they were able to make it home safely. Back at their house, the strange occurrences continued. The doll would levitate and appear in different rooms of the house. The Warrens realized that Annabelle was too powerful to be treated like any other artifact. So, Ed built a special glass case for her. He had a priest come and bless the case with a binding prayer designed to contain the entity within. To this day, Annabelle resides in that locked glass case in the Warrens Occult Museum in Connecticut. A sign on the case warns visitors in bold letters, positively do not open. Even locked away, the legend of Annabelle continues to grow. There are stories of visitors who have mocked the doll and later met with tragic accidents. A young man on a motorcycle reportedly challenged the doll, banging on the glass and daring it to do its worst. On his way home, he lost control of his bike and was killed instantly. Coincidence? Maybe. But for those who have studied the case, it's another chilling reminder of the dark energy attached to this simple child's toy. The real Annabelle doll, a far cry from the porcelain figure depicted in the movies, sits quietly in her glass prison. She serves as a stark warning. A warning about inviting unknown forces into our lives, and a testament to the idea that some things in this world are best left undisturbed. So, the next time you see an old doll in a shop, you might think twice. You never know what story it holds or what might be waiting for an invitation to come home with you. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the truly unsettling case of the Annabelle doll. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about the strange and unexplained, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is it just a doll or something more? Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.